Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Monday Morning Art Talk. I'm Steven Silver, character designer and teacher, dedicated to helping you learn about the art industry and living up to your potential. Whippy! All right, so today what I want to talk about is an experience I had the other day. After school, my son wanted to go hit some golf balls, so we went to the driving range. When we went to the driving range, we got there and it was full. There were two open spots for me and him towards the end that we saw open, but when we went there, it's like, oh my God, look at all these people there. And it's funny because when we got up there, my son, he's 15 and was just kind of, we're amateur golfers. We just like swinging, hitting the ball, and that's where we're at. I think it's some good exercise. I get myself out in the fresh air. And he just, and he was meandering around sort of thing, and he wasn't really setting up yet. And I'm just like, what's going on? It's like, you got to whisper. It's like, be quiet, don't speak too loud. And it's all... silently judging. I'm all, what? They're all silently judging you, right? You think that they're all going to watch you, how you're swinging is all exactly. He went into this thing, seeing all these people, had a bit of a panic that all these people, he hasn't hit the balls in a while. He knew he was going to not hit them so well, and that people are going to be looking. Oh my God, what are they going to say? And the funny thing is, I had the exact same thing. I went through the exact same thing. As I was walking up there, I'm like, oh my God, look at the way these guys are hitting that ball, man. They are whacking it with very, very little effort. And look at that old guy over there. Look at him. He's not even, can barely, he's not even youthful and not, that he can swing his body like that and move. And it's just like, wow, man, it's so much more than me. I feel like a real old man. And just looking at this, and again, it's that same thing. I thought, man, that's really funny. But it's so true. It's the silent judging. And I said, but so I had to be the cool dad and just play it cool and then try, even though I felt the same thing, I, again, snap into, okay, well, let's make sense of it. And I told them, listen, you got to understand that no matter what you do, even though you're going to be hitting that ball really shitty at first, even though they're silently judging, no one is going to say anything to you. No one is going to say anything to you where you're going to hear it. And they're not going to come up to you and say, hey, I was watching your swing and you really suck. They're never going to say that. So it's all this thing that we're creating in our own head, And there was a great quote someone told me. They said, what other people are thinking about you is none of your business. And that's the reality. So here's the reality, is that we are silently being judged all the time. And that's where you just got, and I said, just just know that. And actually at the end, he said, that really helped, because once I got over that, and then I also said, because I heard this on some guy's podcast, can't remember who it was, but it must have been the Impact Theory, one of those people that he had on there. And he said, embarrassed, be okay with being embarrassed. And when you can be okay with being embarrassed, then nothing freaking matters, because you're over it. You realize it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. And it sort of taps into my story I think I told a long time ago, how when my daughter was young, she gave me this bright purple hat to wear. And I put on this hat and it had like these ears. There's things that I would never wear. It's embarrassing. I'm not going to wear that, but yeah, it's my little daughter wants me to wear it. I'm in the house. But then I thought, you know what? I'm going to go run some errands. I'm going to go to the bank, the post office, the grocery store, and see if anyone reacts. I went to all those places and not one person reacted. I was almost like embarrassing myself. I thought I was. Hey, check me out. You guys notice that this is kind of stupid, right? But no one cared. It didn't matter. And so letting yourself be embarrassed, then you can overcome that fear and just know that everyone is secretly judging. Every time you post something on Facebook, every time you post something on Instagram, every time you make a video, someone is silently judging you. Do you you know what I'm talking about. You're flipping and you're looking and you're making a decision and you look at someone's work. It might even be someone that you really like a lot of their work. And all of a sudden you get to one of their posts and it's not so great and you're just like, it's not really that good, and you're going through it and this is what happens. You're silently judging. To myself, I'm not going to say that to someone else's face because why? First of all, why do I want to hurt someone like that? And what's it going to change? It doesn't matter. But know that you're always being silently judged. Whenever you're showing your portfolio, you're being judged. Whenever you're showing your artwork to others, we're being judged. So what do we do a lot of times? We go, knowing that we're silently being judged, you know what we do? We go, someone tells us, yeah, that's pretty cool, man, looks good. Because a lot of people, if they won't be honest when they're looking at you live. When I'm looking at your portfolio, when you want me to actually look at it and I'm face to face with you, I'm going to be honest with you. But you're never going to hear my comments if you're living in some other place and I'm just scrolling through a thing. It's irrelevant. But what happens, where was I going with that? I lost track. See, I'm talking too fast. My brain's trying to catch up. Where was I? I don't know. You know what? I'm stopping the video to go back because I felt like I was onto something. So I remember where I was. Where my point that I was trying to make is a lot of times, because we know we're silently being judged, someone's going to tell us, hey man, that looks really good. That looks great. And you're going to be like, yeah, it's okay. And you're going to you're going to blow it off like, really, you're just trying to, this is all part of, because you feel like you're being judged still. And I think that's the reason why people will say, yeah, it's okay, because if you don't want to make, you can come up with excuses or anything else, and it's best not to. My suggestion personally is if anyone does say, hey man, that looks good, I like it, just say thanks. I worked hard on it, or it was really fun to do, or something like that. And these are the just ways around that. But just the silent judging, it is happening every day. So the bottom line is just get over it. It's okay. There's people judging you. There's people, again, just take ownership of it. I know people are judging me. I know people are judging you. We're all judging each other in some facet, whatever sort of way, where it creeps up. And do we want to be judgmental people? No, we don't want to be judgmental people. But it's a thing that's just within nature, that's what you do. There's a little sense of judgment for whatever it may be. Again, what someone may be wearing. And again, it's silent. So when I even went out with that hat and I was wearing that, there was probably a bunch of silent judgment, but I never heard it. So it didn't matter. So it was all in my head. I wanted people to react. But again, people aren't going to do that. Like they weren't going to tell my son that you've done, and tell me too that I'm hitting lousy. That, oh my God, look at that dad with his son who's probably trying to show him something and he can't even hit the ball himself. Who knows? It doesn't even matter. That's the beautiful point of it. It's just like when you just sort of just let that go, know that you're being judged, know that there's artists that are better than you, know that there's artists who are top of the food chain in ways that oftentimes I find a lot of those guys are the most insecure guys. It's kind of crazy, when they're so evolved in their work, to this mastery. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm just know every freaking bone and muscle in the body, and they just there's a sense of where they kind of will close off, and they're and they'll look at something and they'll just say, hey man, that's just crap. If it's not up to my level, you're crap. Well, what is this cartoony line? What is that? What sort of thing is that? So internally, they may be saying that they're silently judging you, but again, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, and just know that this is all part of it. And once you can accept that, then maybe that'll open up the doors for you to show your work more confidently. I feel like I did that when I was younger, even though my artwork sucked and I knew it sucked and I knew that I had a lot to work on, I was still wanted to show it to people, and they'd always say that. This is why I stopped showing it to my parents when I was 18. They'd always tell me how great it was. At a certain point, I didn't want that anymore, but I also knew people were just telling me, professionals, they were telling me it was good, and I knew it sucked, but there was probably that I was being silently judged, like, this kid sucks, he's got a lot to learn. Hey, good job, kid, carry on, you're going to go places. But again, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. But I was always showing my stuff because I didn't want to let that hold me back. And through that was an open door came, because I learned people, the more I showed my horrible work to, the more feedback I got. And this is the difference between the feedback you get online. If you're just posting in some art forum and hoping to get real feedback from people don't have time for that. People are flipping. That's why we just hit the like, dislike, and maybe a little comment, but it's not real feedback. It's not like back in the day when you'd actually go and show it to people. And this is why you want to go to conventions. This is why you want to show people stuff. This is why whatever you can. Again, speaking of conventions, be sure to go to Lightbox Expo. It's going to be awesome. And it's just very important to make sure that you're getting real feedback, not just expecting to hear it online. Again, people very easily can say they like it, and it could be a false real illusion if you're truly trying to get better at your skill, if that's something that you're really trying to get. I do just want to add something. No, I don't want to add something. That was from my last art talk. All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. Make it a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. To subscribe to my mailing list and stay updated on future workshops and events, please go to my contact at silvertunes.com and simply hit join mailing list. Until the next time, make it a great week, and thank you for listening.